Hey guys. How are you all? Today we will see what if Naruto become the Demon King Part 3. If you enjoy watching our videos, then do like and subscribe to our channel. Also don't forget to mention which part of the video you like the most in the comments. So without much delay, let's start the video.
Chapter 5. To say Hiruzen was stunned would be an understatement. Here he was, sitting in front of a demon king while his loyal servant stood behind him ready to strike at A. And then the demon turned out to be Naruto Uzumaki. He had so many questions. But the main one was at the front of his mind. What happened to the 9 tails? Naruto let an amused look cross his face. These humans and their one-track minds. Which one? You saw the fox walking next to me in my memories. But to Asam. 9 tails is a little weird when there is a whole clan of multi-tailed foxes on the 7th floor of hell. Indeed, Hiruzen did see Naruto walking with a fox. But if there were more than 9 tails, the benefits would be enormous for the leaf. If they could have 2. Jinchuriki. The power he could command would be outstanding, nobody would be able to stand against them. The world would fall under the control of his village due. Power. Look at him, basically having an orgasm at the thought, how easily humans fall into sin. God's perfect creation, my ass. I make the perfect creations. Naruto thou. Amusement at Hiruzen's thinking of power. So, where is the 9 tails? He has a name, it's Kurama, and you best use it or else. Is that a threat? Hiruzen asked with a dangerous undertone. As he leaked some of his killing intent onto Naruto that could still subjugate those to his will. Behind Naruto, Curtis' hand twitched and it took everything he had not to kill Hiruzen on the spot. Naruto laughed. You weak old fool, it is a threat, call him out of his name again and I'll kill you. Naruto finished dead serious as he tolerate no disrespect of his B. Hiruzen was expecting his ANBU to drop down and arrest Naruto. He even signaled them to calm down, but didn't even see them drop. Where did they go? Your ANBU are dead. Naruto calmly said. Just look to your left. Hiruzen didn't budge and merely held gazes with the demon before slowly turning his head to the left. What he saw made his throat get caught in his stomach. The ANBU guards pinned to the wall in spread eagle by their own bones. Blood ran down from the wall and formed puddles underneath them. What? When did he do this? Hiruzen's own mind sounded shocked as he looked at the horrifying sight in front of him. It wasn't me, I didn't move from this spot. Naruto voiced as if he was reading the Hokage's mind. Hiruzen glared at Naruto, who was still sitting down with his legs spread and leaned back in his chair. So he looked towards the black-haired man standing quietly. Curtis had his eyes closed, but when he opened them, Hiruzen froze as he suddenly got the memories of Curtis brutally killing his ANBU while he and Naruto talked. Cried out for help, begging that he do something and not just talk while they were slaughtered like lambs. Those black eyes were so demonic and haunting, it was as if Curtis was judging him for all he was worth and deciding whether or not he would kill him. A cold chill. Hiruzen's spine as Curtis did not blink or even look to be breathing and simply stared him down to the point, even his soul began to itch and creep away. We are off topic, let's get back to why I came here. Naruto snapped his fingers and the bodies simply evaporated and so did the bloody mess on his walls. Now, team with Sakura-chan. Naruto said once again as his tone was calm like a flowing river in the mountain tops. Why should I? They are about to graduate tomorrow. I already have the teams planned out, you will simply unbalance them. Hiruzen proposed a good point and Naruto from joining that team. Why would the Demon King want to be such a low rank? Would Jounin be a much more fitting role than a lowly genin? Hiruzen set. Motion. Naruto always had a big ego, and playing on his ego might serve to sway Naruto into changing his mind. You play a dangerous game, I've killed for far less. Trying to manipulate me by playing with my ego. You should know not to dance with the devil. This is a field Yomi in. Naruto held a smirk and looked at Hiruzen with those chaotic eyes. Hiruzen began to sweat under Naruto's stare. He had no doubts about the power difference between them. If Curtis was that strong and serving Naruto it really mad. Eyes. I will see what I can do, I have to bring this up with the council. No, I am speaking to you, not the council. They are not in charge of the village you are. How long will you let them control you like this? Naruto's voice was smooth, soothing as it twisted the mind of Hiruzen. I am a perfect fit for that team, plus, I've never been a genin before. This will help attach me to the village, since I won. Hokage. Hiruzen widens his eyes in surprise at that statement. You want to be Hokage? That's right, and I want to be a ninja of the Leaf Village so I can gain the people's respect. So don't take this dream away from me. Hiruzen gazed at Naruto intensely so he could search for any hints of a lie. But he found none. Naruto wanted to be the Hokage. How could he miss such a chance? King as the Hokage along with the forces of hell. Okay, I'll place you on her team. Hiruzen then wrote up a note on a paper. Give this to Irika, I'll let him know beforehand anyways. Good. Naruto got up from his seat and walked to the door followed by Curtis. Naruto stopped at the door frame and smirked at Hiruzen. There is going to be a place tonight, I recommend you come and check us out. I'll see, the Hokage doesn't always have time to enjoy such things. Hiruzen laughed with a smile. Yeah right, you old perv. I know you are going to be there. Naruto said laughing and closed the door on his way out. When the door closed, Hiruzen broke out in a cold sweat and grasped his chest. He tried to stabilize his racing heart rate and blood pressure or he was gonna have a... My God, just being around him, felt like I was gonna die. Did he release such pressure on purpose, or is it natural? Hiruzen didn't know and simply began to bray into his desk and moved a bunch of junk until he found a cross. Hiruzen gripped the thing tightly in his hands and prayed. Too easy. Naruto smiled as he walked down the streets with his white slippers getting dirty from the dirt. My lord, do you really want to be Hokage? Hell no, I'll leave that for Tsuchan. She's gonna play her part in the plan. I have a better position in mind. Naruto gave a greedy smile while looking up toward plan was coming to motion perfectly as everything fell into place. It was not time for hell to be unleashed on the world. Say, why don't you go to mother and just I'm sure she is having some trouble with all the things we gave her. Naruto said, smiling gently. Will do. Curtis then took to the sky and flew away in a trail of purple light. Curtis entered the house and took off his boots and saw Mabuki still sitting on the couch poking at the phone Naruto gave her. It was funny as the smart woman when a female voice came from it. Great lady. Curtis softly spoke. Mabuki brightened and turned towards him with a smile. Curtis. I'm so glad you're here, come and help me with this phone. Seeing the women smile at him like that, Curtis blushed slightly at the beauty of this woman. His heart fluttered and he walked over and sat down nervously. Mebu. Little too close and made Curtis turn even redder. Now, I am having trouble with this game. I tried to pop all the candy but end up running out of moves. Mabuki pouted cutely. I need your help, and this woman. Phone always makes fun of me when I fail. Curtis gently chuckled. It's quite easy, all you have to do is focus on one section at a time and then slowly build up from there. And the woman who laughs at you? AI, she will answer all your questions and help you. What's her name? The little devil is always laughing at me. Mabuki said angrily and glared at the phone. Her name is Nina. Curtis said. Nina, I would appreciate it if you helped me beat this game. Mabuki asked nicely. A holographic face popped from the phone and revealed a woman with short hair combed back. Due to being a holograph, Nina appeared blue and see-through. But couldn't help but admire her beauty as she could make the best models look like peasants. Sorry, I just found it funny you can't beat this game. It's like the easiest game, no lie. Nina said and even chuckled throughout her speech. See what I mean, Curtis? Despicable. Mabuki crossed her arms and put the phone down. She turned to Curtis with a nervous gaze as she fidgeted with her shorts. What was it like in hell? What is it like being a demon? Curtis raised his eyebrow as he pondered on the strange question. What is a demon in your opinion? Curtis instead asked Mabuki. Well, I think it's being evil and committing sinful actions. The blonde mother answered the unsure question. So you think demons are naturally evil? Why yes. You are correct. Mabuki looked shocked as Curtis answered without any hesitation. People aren't born evil. It takes a lifetime of events to make someone that way. Curtis let a soft smile cross his face as he shook his head, long lavish black hair swaying gently from the action. Great lady, people, and demons are totally different. Demon is evil taken form. The moment your eyes open, causing chaos is the first thing that crosses your mind. So there are no good demons? Mabuki asked. Well, of course there are. Naruto-sama is one of them. There are plenty of kind-hearted demons in hell. But at the root of their source rest a lurking evil ready to moment's notice. Curtis spoke as softly as he could while still portraying a serious undertone. Naruto-chan is kind? Mabuki asked with shining hope. After just having her hopes crushed from hearing how evil he was. Mabuki was glad to hear this kind of news. Curtis also brightens at this subject. Anytime he got to talk about how great his lord was, Curtis would light up like fireworks going off in the sky. My lord is the key. No, he's saved me multiple times. It's the reason I can sit here and talk to you now, because he saved me, giving my worthless life purpose. And that is why I my lord, even if he wishes to bring heaven to its knees. I'll be right beside him along with the rest of the demons who pledged their loyalty to our demon king. Mabuki looked at Curtis, who spoke with such passion and fire that it lit a spark in him. It made her feel pride towards her son. To inspire such loyalty in his subordinate. It made her smile. Sounds like Naruto-chan is quite the demon. Ah, if only I had a real body, I'd serve my king in any way. The phone lit up and revealed the speaker to be Nina. She was laying in a holographic bed, showing figure. Mabuki blushed at the statement. Don't talk about my son like that. Great lady, you have no idea what other women say about my lord. And if the rumors are true, he knows how to please a woman. Nina moaned in delight as she breast. What rumors? Mabuki sputtered out her question. Oh, just the fact he made every succubus submit to him as he conquered the second layer of hell. The floor of lust. That's enough, you filthy virus. Curtis slapped the hologram away that flickered back to life. Who you calling a virus? I'll have you know I am the latest update and will never catch one of those things. Nina yelled in response as Curtis tried to slap her off. Whatever. Just go away, Curtis said, tossing the phone into the kitchen. Now, as for your other question about hell. What do you want to know? Mabuki rolled the question over and laid back on the comfy couch. What was there to do? All the folklore says hell is just some burning inferno filled with screamy. True, but there is also an infinite possibility of things to do. Curtis pulled out his phone and pulled up a video. Look, this a video of Naruto-sama, Asima, Kurama. Jumping from space. Mabuki looked at the playing video. My lord, I'm not sure about this. That's a really far drop. We are standing on slippers rings right now. Curtis spoke with clear signs of hesitation. Stop being a pussy, Curtis. This is gonna be fun. We can crash right into the planet Omen to soften our landing. Idiot. You are banned from that planet because you fucked the ruler's daughter and stole all their money. Kurama said in his human form as he rolled his eyes. In Naruto-kun's defense, she came on to him first. Asima defended her beloved. Naruto turned and smiled. See, that's why I love you. Naruto gave her a kiss on her lips, making Asima smile at the signs of affection. This was the fifth layer of hell. Greed. Greed was the most advanced section of hell as it was mainly ruled by humans. They were ruled by Adam, the king of Huma. Currently, the group was on white rings surrounding the giant round planet called Slippers. It possessed 6 white rings that kept the planet trapped. Around them Abyss, which was space littered with countless amounts of stars in this infinite void of darkness. A little way below them was a giant planet called Omen. They were about to perform a leap of courage. It looked fun while they were just flying by, but now it was terrifying. Make sure you got this on video, Curtis. We are gonna get so many views on CultTube for this one. I am recording, Curtis said, holding the phone. Now, let's. Naruto began to run to the edge and took a huge jump. Go. They all soon jumped off and began to fall quickly to the planet below them. Logan. As they performed tricks. What the hell? You're telling me I was terrified when I did that? Curtis suppressed a shudder at the memory. But Mabuki had a question. Who is Asima? That is one of Naruto-sama's mates. Asima of dark matter. Naruto and her met on the second floor as she and Naruto fought in a death battle but came out in AT. The leader of the Imperial Army, which is Naruto-sama's army he uses for war. War? What war? And how many mates does he have? Mabuki fired in rapid succession as she shook Curtis. If you stop shaking me, I will tell you. Curtis blew his hair out of his face and looked at Mabuki in deadpan. Sorry. Mabuki stopped and was now able to feel the muscles on Curtis. His broad shoulder and muscular biceps felt tougher than a wall. She blushed and let go. Now, my lord has been in more wars than this world combined times 100. And he has 4 mates currently. Curtis answered. So many. Mabuki had swirls for eyes as she fainted at everything. Great lady, great lady. Curtis shook Mabuki, who only spoke nonsense in her sleep. Sakura sat in her seat towards the back of the class quietly and simply gazed at everyone with a distant coldness. The pink-haired girl did not want to be here, so to be even chillier than normal. Sakura would rather be at home with her big brother, who was now alive. It was still bizarre, and she hoped this was not some prank. Sakura wanted to receive whatever training Naruto said he'd give her. It was a good thing class was almost over, and Sakura couldn't help but tap her foot on the ground impatiently. Her tapping drew the attention of her best friend, though. The girl beside her to speak up. "What's got you so excited? You look ready to jump out of this building." The other blonde rolled her eyes and crossed her arms. "Lies." Ino leaned closer and poked Sakura right in the chest. "What are you hiding from me, forehead? You." This worked up. Sakura regarded Ino in silence, as the Yamanaka was very persistent and would stick her nose in places it didn't need to be, intent on soaking up all the gossip. The offer. If Ino tried, she might make an excellent spy. But Ino was her best and only friend. The girl always could tell when she was being lied to, thanks to her father. Interrogator and everything. "I will tell you after class." Sakura finally gave her response to the waiting Ino. Inapig. Sakura also sent back the nickname she had for Ino. You better, or I was gonna have to stalk you until I found out." Ino pulled away with a smirk and crossed arms. That is when the boy beneath them turned in his seat with a wild grin. "So, Sakura-chan, how about coming kick it with a real alpha after class?" Sakura didn't even look at the messy-haired boy, causing the red fang-like marking on his face to twitch in anger. Why was this boy always hitting on her? Couldn't. No interest in him? Why don't you go eat out your dog bowl by yourself? Ino answered in Sakura's place with an annoyed look on her face. Kiba's face reddened and he showed off his sharp canines. "Nobody was talking to you, bitch." Sakura's eyes snapped down to Kiba, making him shiver and slightly whimper in fright. "Don't speak to my friend like that." Sakura's voice was sharp as the tip of tea. "And for the last time, I don't want anything to do with you. Ask me out again, and I'll kill you." She said those last words with no stutter or false threat. The point received. "Sakura, what have I said about threatening your future comrades?" The teacher, Irika, yelled. "TCH." Sakura simply looked out the window toward the direction of her house, wishing her big brother would come and take her away from this place. "Ha ha ha. Serves you right, you pathetic pussycat." Hinata barked in laughter while pointing a finger. Hinata language. The Hyuga air calmed down her laughter as the teacher yelled at her. She didn't want Irika to tell her father. That piece of shit, she just wanted to palm his lights. "Teach." Hinata muttered a weak reply and gave the middle finger to his back. Irika erased the problem off the board and sighed. "These kids are going to be the death of me." He wished graduation would hurry up, there was just one more day. The sound of a bell being rung echoed in the classroom and the kids quickly got up and packed their bags. Sakura was out the door before any of the kids saw her move. The girl was running through the halls and dragging a stunned Ino behind. Wait, Sakura. I forgot my bag." Ino whined. "Who cares? You'll just get a new one." Once they made it out the door, Sakura let a smile cross her face as she couldn't wait to get back home. While Ino was able to get loose and run beside the girl. "Just going to run past me like I'm not even here? Oh, Sakura-chan, you hurt my heart." Sakura froze in her tracks, causing Ino to also stop and wonder why Sakura looked so stunned. Walking out of the shadows still wearing all white casual clothes as if he was some angel. Which was the complete opposite. Naruto came closer to the two girls as black horns rested just above his forehead. So, going to give your big brother a hug? Sakura-chan? Big brother? Sakura shouted and ran towards Naruto with delight and jumped into his arms. What are you doing here? Not that I'm complaining or anything. Once she released the hug and looked up at Naruto. Simple, I came to pick you up from school. Naruto answered the simple question. He ruffled Sakura's hair with a smirk, messing up the girl's long stunning pink H. Swatted his hand away and gave an angry pout. Her pout quickly turned into a hopeful smile. Are we still going to train? Like you promised. Naruto gave a gentle smile not seen often on his face. Of course we will. I did promise that, didn't I? Sakura brightened. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go. She grabbed his hand and began to walk off. Hey. The two turned around and looked at the red-faced Ino. The Yamanaka hated being left out of conversation, especially the hot ones. As Ino gazed at Naruto, her fa. Bright red. Who was this Adonis in front of her? Those red eyes with hints of darkness in them, his perfectly short black hair, those muscles which strained against T-shirt. The thing really drawing her attention was the horns. Sakura, don't you want to introduce me? Ino rushed while glaring at Sakura, who rolled her eyes. Ino, this is my big brother Naruto. Naruto-kun, this is Ino aka Ino Pig. Sakura quickly said and turned to leave once again until Ino appeared in front of the two. Sakura, you said Naruto died and I remember what Naruto looked like. Ino looked Naruto up and down once again as her cheeks turned red once again. And this looked like. Well, it's a lot to explain, but my brother is the Demon King and came back to life through my mother and bada boom bada bing we are here. After hearing Sakura rundown, Ino just blinked like an owl with a confused look plastered on her face. Naruto chuckled, drawing the girl's attention. Now Sakura-chan, no need to rush. Naruto then gave Ino his full attention. It's nice to meet you, Ino-chan, I would. You for being friends with my little sister. Ino blushed hearing her name be called so affectionate by such a handsome fellow. Even if he didn't look like past Naruto, which Ino still wanted answers from Saku. Could wait another day. It was my pleasure, Naruto. Ino stuttered a response while she shyly played with the hem of her purple skirt, looking Naruto in the eye, saying that was a little too much for her human brain. Seeing Ino's interaction with Naruto, Sakura felt strangely weird and unhappy by the effects Naruto was having on her, as her face showed displeasure. Why was this? Ino and she were friends, nothing else. So why did she feel so jealous? Was it because Ino was taking all of her big brother's attention? Yeah. That was it. Ino, I'll tell you more about tomorrow. Sakura grabbed Naruto's hand and began to pull him along. We've got some training to do. Sakura showed a peace sign. Back towards her house with Naruto, sending mean glares to angry civilians along the way, as they dared to send snarky comments at her family. It was a good tea. Other one of his fellow demons heard these comments, or the village would be a smoking crater right now. I'm home. Sakura yelled, coming through the front door. The mouth a dash. Before Naruto could finish, he found a slipper heralding his way, connecting with his face. The power of his mother's secret weapon was untouchable. Don't you finish that sentence. Mabuki came stomping to the front with her other slipper in hand. She grabbed Naruto by the ear and pulled him along. How man? Told you, no cursing. Naruto counted on his fingers until he got to 5. Too many damn times. He received another slipper to the face. You know, with that kind of power, you might be over hell. Jez, what am I going to do with you? Mabuki sighed and slumped into the couch. Make my favorite meal for old time's sake. Naruto brightly answered. This caused Mabuki to chuckle at Naruto's excitement. Yellow rice with oven-baked chicken. Mabuki stated the meal she had made countless amounts of times. Right on the money. Naruto gave a thumbs up. He got up from his seat and walked to the backyard where Sakura was waiting. I'll go train with Sakura-chan. My lord? Curtis got up and bowed. Curtis, I hope you helped my mom with everything. Mabuki brightened as she grabbed onto Curtis' arm, pushing it in between her bosom. Oh, he was a great help and told me a lot about your travels in hell, while with this phone. Curtis began to shake like a leaf as cold sweat ran down his face. Why was Mabuki holding him like this, in front of his lord? He was so dead. This did not go unnoticed by Naruto as he looked at how pale Curtis had become. He noticed Mabuki holding him like that and the rapid heartbeat of Curtis. Noah thought in shock before narrowing his eyes at Curtis. Curtis, come outside real quick. Naruto walked outside followed by a nervous Curtis. Ready to train, big brother? Sakura asked with excitement. Naruto gave a chilling smile. Yes, and Curtis here will help us. Sakura raised an eyebrow. How? I'll teach you a move I learned from one of my mates. Naruto said and slowly turned his red-slit eyes towards Curtis. Before Curtis could react, he received an up. Him into the clouds, sky, and even space before he kept flying and crashed into a small tan object covered in rocky terrain. Curtis looked to see he was no longer resting on the now-destroyed planet Pluto. My lord? I am sorry. Curtis bowed over and over again as waterfall tears ran down his face while blood leaked from his mouth. He didn't want Mabuki to grab him. Wasn't his fault. Back on Earth, Sakura gaped. Brother, how did you do that? She asked in disbelief. Naruto rolled his arm, now feeling satisfied. That bastard. Was he trying to seduce his mother? Curtis was lucky Naruto loved him or he'd be dead right now. Look. Sakura. I'll teach you. Curtis then appeared out of nowhere perfectly fine and bowing to Naruto. I am sorry, my lord. Naruto sighed. Get up, Kurt, I know it's not your fault. I just overreacted. I am sorry. Naruto responded with honesty. No need to apologize, I will do better next time. Curtis bowed again. You're already doing perfect. Naruto said one last time and turned to Sakura. Now, what do you want to learn first? Well, I have studied medical books and am really good at that, but I lack a good taijutsu since most are meant for clan kids and those with much more chakra than I have. Sakura replied with a bit of sadness in her tone. This was one of the main reasons she would lose to Hinata and Sasuke in hand-to-hand battles, as the edge over her. Naruto tilted up her head, causing Sakura to look Naruto directly in the eyes. Hey, don't feel neglected, that's just the way things are. But you can change those power you hold, just like I did. How? Easy, I'll train you. You also don't give yourself enough credit. You have decent chakra levels for just a girl with no ninja background, and your chakra control seem than most chunin. Naruto tried to boast his little sister's morale. He had ways to increase all of these things, of course, and he would damn sure to do it. Why you think so? Sakura asked. You could really train me that well? Naruto smirked. Duh, I am the Demon King of Hell. I know every magic spell in Hell along with fighting style. One of these is going to fit you. Naruto backed up some space before dropping into a weak guard. Now, show me what you got. Naruto taunted by doing the bring it motion. Sakura smirked in a manner similar to Naruto as she rushed in ready to do battle. It was not night time in the Leaf Village and the stars twinkled in the night sky. Normally on a night like this, it would be quiet and peaceful. But that was not the case tonight. Party lights waved through the air as loud music could be heard playing for many blocks. People could be seen walking to the expensive outfits with eager smiles on their faces. One person going to the booming club was Hiruzen the Hokage. Why, you may ask? Because he received an invite from the Demon King. I am too old for young people parties. Hiruzen breathed out a sigh and knocked on the door. He was able to skip the long line as he was the Hokage and got in it. From the other side of the door, Hiruzen could hear extremely loud music and the sound of people having a good time. The door opened. It revealed it to be a shirtless Naruto who was giving a wild grin. Hiruzen. Come on in, old man. Naruto pulled Hiruzen in by the shoulder. So glad you could make it. The party is just getting started. Naruto handed Hiruzen a drink that smelled of heavy alcohol, while Naruto took a sip from his own cu. Alcohol the humans had would not work on him, so he took the pleasure of bringing some from hell. Naruto, I'm the Hokage, I can't be drunk. PSHH, it's a party? Why else did you come here? Just be quiet and drink. Hiruzen just raised the cup to his lips and took a sip and felt the liquid sting at his throat. Hiruzen then began beating his chest as he started coughing as this drink. Had been a while since Hiruzen indulged himself in alcohol. Good, right? Naruto asked with a grin that scared Hiruzen. Why, yeah, what kind is this? Hiruzen asked now that his coughing fit was under control. It's from hell, that's all you need to know. Naruto laughed and patted Hiruzen on the back. That is when a beautiful woman grabbed Naruto by the arm. Naruto-sama, I am having a great time. But you know what would make it even better? June trailed off with a seductive undertone. She pulled her bra down and... Naruto. Naruto smirked. Not tonight, June. I already have someone warming my bed. Naruto reached into his pockets and pulled out some money. He stuck it in between. Until it was snug. Go treat yourself after this. Ah. Naruto-sama, you are the best. June leaned up and kissed Naruto on the cheek, leaving a red lipstick mark. June skipped off happy, ready to make some more. Tonight. Okay, Hiruzen, you keep partying down here and I will see you around. Naruto told Hiruzen before being covered by a green light as a magic circle appeared under. Lady Tsunade, are you sure it's okay for us to be here? Shizun, calm down, you worry too much. And you don't worry enough. Tsunade waved Shizun off as she painted her nails ruby red with a happy smile. As Shizun watched Tsunade, she couldn't help but smile gently. Ever since Naruto life, her master had been so much happier. And Shizun would be eternally grateful for it. Before Naruto came into Tsunade's life, she was depressed and just drinking her sorrows away while spending all of the senju money. Tsunade hated herself. She could do was feel sad and think about past memories. It felt like her life was over and that nothing mattered anymore. It was a good thing that Tsunade had Shizune with her, or who knew what might have happened. Tsunade rarely smiled and just frowned and cried herself to sleep. Time. Tsunade put the nail polish down and blew a hot gust of wind on her nails, drying them off in an instant. She smiled and asked Shizune a question. Do you remember? First met Naruto-kun? Shizune-chan. Flashback. In a calm forest, a hole suddenly starts to open in the ground. Coming from the hole can be heard screaming. A hand reaches out from the hole and pulls itself out. Up and rolled their head. Ah, back on Earth after so long. The person stood in a destroyed black coat and attire as their red eyes glanced at the forest. Naruto then flew into the sky, where he floated there motionlessly. His sharp eyes took in every little detail of his area. Warm temperatures, gentle breeze, vast GRE. Many hills, big trees, this is fire country. Naruto finished his thoughts and gently fell back on the ground. His senses picked something up and he looked to a massive cloud beginning to suck itself in. The strange sight made Naruto smirk as he knew what this was. The CLO. Bright before blowing up on itself. Well, you gods sure didn't waste any time today. Naruto's voice was laced with sarcasm as he felt amused at the situation. What god wishes to die by my hands? White wings unfolded like a blossoming flower. Their hair was short and well-kept oak brown. Piercing yellow eyes that seemed to sense all the evil in the world, while tight fit onto his well-toned body. Oh, shiny armor, that polished sliver brings out the color of your eyes. Naruto mocked with a laugh while pulling out the dragon's sword. As his enemy also held a sword. Humph, it's you, the last dragon of destruction. And it's you, the weakest of the archangels, Rogel. Rogel showed no reaction toward the taunt. Foul creature, I shall send you back to the hell you came from. Then be my guest. Naruto growled as his eyes glowed a menacing evil red. Red scales started traveling up his body and popped from underneath his collar and chin. Once I devour you, my power will grow even higher. My soul is touched by God, with the Most High on my side, I cannot lose. Geograze. A red complex magic circle opened in the sky, casting a shadow over the near town. Rogel looked up and his eyes widened. You're going to wipe out this whole village? Rogel summoned his magic and got ready to protect everyone. Well, you do have the advantage, so I've got to even things up a little. Naruto said, smirking. He had lost a good amount of power escaping hell, and just trying to head-to-head would not be a good choice. Rogel blasted the giant meteor of fire with holy magic and used his greater power to destroy the spell. It worked to some extent as the fire broke apart into small rained down on the forest underneath them, causing massive explosions and fire to spread. Rogel turned and saw Naruto charging him with his sword aimed to strike his heart. Thinking quickly on his feet, Rogel used a holy spell. Cipher. Holy fire, so like armor, causing Naruto to stop as he did not wish to be burned by holy fire. Sifio. The fire covering Rogel's body shot off toward Naruto, who had to fly and evade the attack. But Rogel was not done as he clenched his fist, causing the W into 8 pieces and make contact with a shocked Naruto. Seeing Rogel had Naruto cornered, he moved in and didn't want to waste time with such a dangerous THRE. Zeltos. He fired his holy lighting toe. Black Lord, this hurts. Naruto swore inside his mind. Even his dragon scales, which were some of the toughest things in hell, were having a hard time blocking all But Naruto was not down and out, as he would use one of the magic spells special to his family. Gades. As Naruto finished, purple magic rose from his body and covered his body like a protective shield, and even started to destroy the spells coming in contact with his bi. Shot out his hand in a swiping motion. Behind him, a claw of magic shaped like a dragon claw swiped at Rogel, tearing into his chest. Rogel flapped his wings and got some distance. So, he's advanced in dragon magic. We need to kill him before he challenges God. Rogel bit his thumb and drew. Quickly formed into copies of himself. Take him down. You're not the only one with clones. Naruto made a cross sign and clones of himself popped into existence. Riga shreid. All of Naruto's clones fired a wind ma. Formed into a trail of many sharp wind blades. Best ret. Rogel covered himself in a holy barrier and rushed forward, blocking all of the attacks. Naruto's clones meet him head-on with Gades still covering their bodies. They punched and clawed at the barrier, cracking it and chipping away at it. Rogel flexed his wings and sent white feathers from them, piercing the clones in the head. This is my strongest attack, and with it, you will fall. Rogel declared Naruto in the face, sending him hurtling through the air at breakneck speeds. Teo trieth. Rogel aimed his sword at Naruto and fired his light spell toward Naru. Highest-ranking light-based spell he had access to. It moved at the speed of light and had incredible power. If that hits me, it will be bad news. Naruto's thoughts were on the side of caution, as he was thinking of ways to beat this spell of death. He will just have to hit it. Strongest attack and then some, since he was weakened. Naruto summoned a magic circle behind him that gave off an intense heat. Aviaston Giara. The magic circle began to spin rapidly and red flames could be seen creeping from the circle. This was the highest grade fire spell. Or at least Naruto knew of. But make the spell even stronger. Naruto tilted his head towards the spell and breathed out a brilliant flame of gold that seemed to increase the size of the fireball in the what? That is impossible. Rogel thought with growing panic as he watched the two attacks clash in a thunderous explosion of power at the two behemoths. Clashed. As the two attacks clashed, they blew away the small village below them along with everything in a 20-mile radius. As the chaotic battle came to an end and the shaking stopped, the smoke covering the area was blown away by a gust of wind, which revealed Naruto standing was laying on his back. This was the outcome from the very beginning. Naruto brought his sword up and stabbed the angel right in his heart, causing the man to gasp. Naruto drop. His hand glow purple and sunk it into Rogel's chest. When he pulled it back, there was a golden orb in his hand. Lunch is on you today. Naruto then opened his mouth and ate the source of Rogel. As Naruto swallowed, he felt the power rush throughout his system and his pi. Once I get back to hell, that demon lord on the 8th floor better be ready to lose his seat. Naruto then began to chuckle and stood up. His clothes had been him in just his black pants. Naruto crouched down before jumping off to the nearby mountains. While in the sky, Naruto remembered how injured he was and began to fall back to the ground. He couldn't even use his magic to fly because he was so might hurt. Walking down the road was two women. One was a busty blonde while the other, a slim black-haired woman. This was Tsunade Senju and Shizune. Tsunade's green haori flapped in the wind as her blonde hair pigtails gently blew in the wind. She looked at her student, Shizune. The girl looked innocent as she too. Around her, Lady Tsunade, what is that? Shizun squinted her eyes and looked ahead. What are you talking about? Tsunade also looked forward. She sent chakra to her eyes so she could see better. Her brown eyes widened in shock. That's a. Tsunade rushed forward until she was kneeling down next to the body. Oh my god. What happened to this person? Shizun panicked as the person looked to have been here for a while. All his clothes were destroyed, just leaving his SC bare, which made her face heat up just the slightest. Tsunade put her hand on the man's neck to check for a pulse. He's alive. Shizun let out a sigh of relief at hearing her master's words. Tsunade then looked over. Fully. Black hair, pretty tall, aesthetic body, very high chakra reserves. This is some S-rank ninja, but I've never seen this guy in a bingo book before. Shizun, this will be good practice for you, let's see what you can do. Hard Naruto. Why yes, Tsunade-sama. As Shizun performed basic treatment, they finished and Tsunade picked up the rather heavy man and slumped him over her shoulder. Let's go back to the town A. Person rest. Tsunade went out of her way to help this person since she was a medical ninja at heart. And a medical ninja was never to leave a wounded person to die. Even if random stranger on the side of the road. If only they had continued down the road, they would have seen the aftermath of Naruto's battle and just might have thought twice about taking Naruto in. Naruto blinked his eyes slowly as he adjusted to his new senses. He used his advanced sense of smell to try and sniff out his location. Alcohol, women, and Medici. Confused. Where the hell was he? That is when Naruto's vision was covered by something very big and soft. He knew what this feeling was. It was big breast. Okay, he seems to be fine now, let's go before he wakes up. Naruto heard a female voice say. Too late. I am already up. Naruto spoke from underneath Tsunade's breast. Tsunade moved back with a scowl. She didn't mean to give the pervert a show. Well, you can leave since you're all good now. Tsunade said. She had no idea how so fast. It reminded her of the way her grandfather would heal from wounds. Did you heal me? Naruto questioned, looking at Tsunade and Shizun. Yes, I'll take my payment now. Tsunade held out her hand expecting some money. Naruto gave her a smirk, causing something to stir inside of her. I've got something better. Naruto leaned up and grabbed Tsunade by the throat and connected deep kiss. Tsunade widened her eyes in shock as she was caught completely off guard. Her face heated up as Naruto forcefully entered her mouth. Things were heating up as Naruto's hands began to wander her body until he groped her bare breast while his hands were inside her shirt. To the side, Shizun was red as a tomato and holding her flaming cheeks. This is so lewd. Her innocent mind couldn't take it and she passed out. Tsunade let out a moan and she closed her eyes as she began to enjoy the sensation. Until she snapped her eyes open and brought her fist back and hit Naruto with, intent on knocking his head clean off. As her fist connected with Naruto, his head was rocked backwards. You perv? Tsunade yelled with flushed cheeks and an angry face. Temper. Naruto said, smiling towards the angry Sannin. What? How is he alive? That was supposed to kill him. Had she lost her strength? No, she felt the power in that strike. Just who was this strange person with whore? I'm Naruto Leviathan, future Demon King of Hell. Nice to meet you. Flashback. Tsunade let out a happy sigh and squealed like a schoolgirl while kicking her feet on the bed. If anyone saw Tsunade like this, she'd lose all respect. On her back, Tsunade looked at the ceiling. She ran her hands through her blonde hair and undid the magic spell hiding her horns. Black horns coming from the Cid poked out from beneath her blonde hair. Who would have thought she'd learn to love again? With a demon of all things nonetheless. Since Tsunade released the illusion spell on her horns, Shizun did the same and showed shiny black horns with purple veins running through them. Shizun's horn back of her hair and could produce a deadly poison. That is when their door opened and in walked the shirtless Naruto. A happy smile crossed his face as he crossed the distance between them. He soon fell atop Sun to have an intense makeout. They separated with smiles on their faces and Naruto hovered over a flush Tsunade. "What are you doing here, beautiful?" Naruto turned to a blushing Shizun and which she shyly grabbed and slid into her robe. Tsunade pulled Naruto down so he could rest in her cleavage. "Did you really think I would miss out on such a huge party?" "No way in hell." Tsunade laughed. Naruto chuckled. "I should have known better. It's a good thing Oda-chan isn't here or we would be partying for days on end." They all laughed at that. Oda was a party animal. She would get up on stage and perform one of her rock songs that were a hit in the underworld. Oda was kinda just because she was a demon lord of the 6th floor. "Well, I did come to tell you some important news," Tsunade said, getting back to the reason she came here. "The Nadeshiko village will be ready to participate in TH. It's time. I managed to train and equip them with powerful weapons and artifacts while sending the more promising ones to hell for training." Tsunade finished with a proud smile. She managed to get a lot of work done and felt she deserved a night of fun. The shinobi in hell were more powerful than the O. They had to deal with all kinds of enemies. That's great, the nations are gonna flip when the Demon King's followers kill everyone. Naruto couldn't wait to see how everyone reacts to his followers. Now enough that, let's go party. Naruto moved and allowed Tsunade to get up and walk to the door. Indeed, tonight is a celebration. The Demon King's return. Chapter 6. Council Chambers. Sitting in their seats at the round table, all the clan heads and the 3 village elders waited for the Hokage to speak up. It had been 5 minutes since the meeting. Nobody had spoken a single word. Hiruzen was just sitting with his eyes closed and smoking on his pipe, taking exaggerated puffs. Hiruzen then took a final drag from his pipe and leaned back in his seat. He then exhaled, blowing out white smoke from his old lungs. "The things I am about to say. Very crazy, but I ask that you all keep an open mind to what you are about to hear. We are ninjas and the things that sound crazy are often true, from giant animals. Power to destroy countries, to flying old men." All the occupants in the room felt Hiruzen's gaze wash over them like a wave washes on the beach. "Just spit it out already, Hiruzen," Koharu said, finally losing her teammate and old-time friend. "This is not something I can just spit out. It's a very important matter which needs to be taken seriously," Hiruzen said. "But if that's how you want it, then so be I." Throat and ready to drop the bomb on them. Hiruzen spoke again. "Naruto Uzumaki is back from the dead. He is no longer the same blonde child that died those years ago. In his place is a man. I am sure you have all heard the haired man going around with horns on his head claiming to be the Demon King. Well, I am here to tell you that everything you heard is true. They all stared at Hiruzen with wide eyes and shock on their faces. Even Hayashi showed slight signs of emotion. And he was keen on stoicism. What do you mean it's true? Are you saying that Nine-Tails Jinchuriki is a demon? Tsum Inuzuka asked in shock. Her wild black slit eyes showed frenzy. What you hear is the truth, I saw with my own eyes. He showed me his memories. Hiruzen informed with a somber look in his eyes. Come on Hiruzen, of all people, you should know when you are under genjutsu. The boy is playing with your mind. If you can't see that, then maybe it's time you. Replacement. Danzo calmly insulted Hiruzen with the swiftness of a gazelle. Instead of being upset or finding offense to the words. Hiruzen laughed with his head back. The laugh came off as mocking and arrogant as the Hokage patted his few seconds. I see you are still a comedian, Danzo. I could always count on your jokes to help cheer me up. It was the opposite. Instead of mocking the Hokage, Danzo was the one being mocked. He bit back his emotions and looked on stoically to show Hiruzen's words d. But this is no joking matter. Hiruzen became serious in an instant and showed that he was not joking as his eyes became cold as ice. Naruto Uzumaki and Enian is to not be taken lightly. That bodyguard always with him is the most dangerous. Curtis. He killed my ANBU protective squad just because they drew weapons a guy. Are we going after this man? Shikaku asked with full attention. Killing a whole ANBU squad is no joke, your protective unit no less. I'd like to, but someone like him is untouchable. He killed them all without me even knowing. Then showed me how he killed each and every one of them with a face, as if it was all trivial to him. Hiruzen shuddered underneath his robes as the memory haunted him, as the black eyes of Curtis seemed to always be watching. Shadows. Hearing the words of the Hokage made them all fall silent as the room was dead. Nobody even moved to the point you'd think they were all dead. What their leader was frightening, a man so powerful it made them all scared. If even the Hokage was this shaken up, what could they do? How could they overcome this monster? With the will of fire? This must remain a secret as the public cannot know of a demon king walking among them, but I feel it is already too late. For Naruto is not hiding himself and as if he owns them. Hiruzen said once again. I will be placing Naruto into our ranks as a genin under Kakashi Hatake. Kakashi will serve to monitor Naruto and out of the ordinary. Hayashi raised a hand and began to speak. Hokage-sama, is it really a good idea to place this demon in our ranks? If he is a demon king like you say he is, why himself to the bottom of the ranks? And what is Kakashi going to do? Yeah, he is our strongest jounin, but from what you say, I doubt he will be much help. Inoichi asked. He kept a calm face on the inside. He was feeling nervous. His daughter Ino spent a lot of time around Sakura, who loved Naruto like her older brother. Since Naruto was back, and Sakura no doubt would want to be around Naruto. That meant Ino would be around Naruto. He didn't want that, he couldn't have that. Of this village and not as a father. I see what you mean, but Naruto wishes to become Hokage one day. Hiruzen let the paper bomb drop as everyone in the room gasped except Danzo, Hayashi, and... Hell no. No way in hell can that demon become the Hokage. Koharu started to shout. Listen. Hiruzen spoke and Koharu fell silent immediately. Think about this, if Naruto is the Hokage, he can use the forces of hell to aid us if needed, while also be our nine-tailed fox demons with him. We could bring other nations to peace with this kind of power. Don't you see? Blinded by the opportunity, Danzo spoke. You can't really be thinking of peace with power like that, can you? The Demon King, more than 9 tails, and all rule the world, nobody could stop us. Ruling the world is not what this is about, Danzo, it's about making a better world. Hiruzen cut back. Your foolish ideals will bring this village to its knees. Danzo stood up and walked out on his cane, he had nothing left to say. If you can't see the opportunity for in front of you, being the Hokage isn't meant for you. With his back turned, Danzo walked out of the room without saying anything else. Everyone stayed silent for a moment as the room was tense as Danzo's words served to shake them up. This meeting is over, take my words to heart. For now, we into something far greater than we could have ever imagined. Hiruzen's body flickered from the room and everyone else left in their own way. So? How is it? Mabuki asked, leaning in to hear her son's response to her cooking. Naruto swallowed the food his mother had cooked for breakfast. He then gave her a smile which caused Mabuki to brighten. It's delicious, just like I remember it. The women squealed. I knew you'd like it. I bet you haven't had food that tasted this good in a long time. Naruto couldn't help but chuckle as Mabuki was really proud of this. Well, I don't need to eat anymore, when I do, it's only for pleasure. But Albedo-chan makes so pleasing food when she plays the housewife role. Sakura then had a question for Naruto. She heard Naruto mention he had many mates or more than one wife. That was still hard to wrap her head around. Her bro. Longer human, but something more. Could she possibly be the same? That was for a different time though. Brother, what are the name of your wives? I was wondering when you'd ask that question. Naruto put his fork down and a red glow appeared in his hand, summoning his phone. I have 4 mates who are demonesses. My first one was Asima April, now Asima Leviathan. Naruto showed them a picture of Asima and the 2 women gawked. How did you 2 first meet? Mabuki asked. This caused Naruto to gain a reminiscent smile as he laughed seconds later. Well, she beat up Curtis while I was away. The 2 turned to the man sitting next to Naruto, who only sighed. It's true, I was much weaker at the time. But the man clenched his fist and showed fire in his. However, she doesn't hold a candle to me now. Why were you fighting? Sakura was the one to ask the black-haired swordsman. Flashback. Hand over the stone of night. A woman with long snow-white hair fading into a violet towards the end. 2 bangs tied by black bands rested on side of her face. The perfect beauty with sharp features including piercing cream-colored eyes. Skin a slight tan and body slim and fit, the figure of a warrior with womanly curves. I'll never give it to you, this artifact will be used to take over this floor. Curtis readied his greatsword. It was a shiny black with red vein-like lines running down it. The future Demon King. Asima gave a menacing chuckle. But Curtis's statement brought up bad memories. I used to follow someone too, but they betrayed me, you'd better stop following. Or you're going to end up like me. Asima gave her warning to Curtis as her eyes showed fury not aimed towards him. But it would surely be taken out on him. From her white pants, she pulled out a sharp black stick. It had a place for her hand but had no grip, guard, or anything a sword would have. White gloves gripped tightly as she shrugged off the black leather coat that was hanging on her shoulders. Clinging to her chest was a black long sleeve that served to highlight her WOM. Then you shall die. She moved forward in a haze of purple with her blade aimed to kill. Not on your life. Curtis moved forward in a golden blur as the two demons did battle. The output of magic coming from these two could be felt for miles as the ground rumbled under their might. Off in the distance, Naruto and Kurama paused in the killing of many demons around them. They had been ambushed and plenty of greedy demons were after the he possessed. That's Curtis. Who's he fighting so hard? Naruto asked as he squished a red demon's head in his hands. He then pulled the horn from another demon's corpse and the other monstrous creatures trying to surround him. It looks like someone very powerful he is losing. Bad, might I add. Kurama answered his friend's question. Curtis was in trouble and they couldn't allow their friend. Need to leave immediately if we plan to make it in time. Kurama voiced with urgency. Naruto floated up into the red sky as his eyes were a terrifying shade of shimmering purple. Already ahead of you. Clasping his hands together and pushing them. Later, he brought them back and slid his palms against each other until they came apart with his right hand, hovering only a few centimeters above his left palm. Hovering in his hand was a densely compacted ball of chakra that sparked and jumped with fire and electricity. Dragonic art, Skyfall destruction. The ball of sea fell to the ground but didn't utter a single sound. A bright flash of white sparked as the jutsu hit the ground. Kurama knew better as he had been hit with that jutsu. As fast as he could to outrun the attack. Everyone else and the surrounding wasn't lucky as the sound quickly came back and the sound of a thunderous clap that ruptured eardrums and disoriented everyone. The attack then blew up and began to devour the area in its destruction. The demons didn't even have a chance to scream or ready their muscles to run as it was. There really is a beauty in destruction. Leaving the destroyed area behind, Naruto flew toward the direction of Curtis. Arriving on the scene, he saw the destroyed landscape. The already red ground was littered with blood pools from Curtis and Asima. His eyes narrowed as he saw Asima looming over Curtis with her foot on his chest and black sword positioned at his neck. The outcome that was to come all along. You put up, but it only served to slow down your defeat for a meaningless amount of time. Kurama, don't interfere. Naruto said to the floating fox beside him. Kurama only gave a nod and a growl escaping his fox maw. Curtis had no words for the woman standing on top of him. He closed his eyes and accepted the death to come. His biggest regret would not be seeing Naruto Eki. That is when Asima quickly put up her arm where a shield made of black hexagons. It saved her from getting her head caved in by the hard boot of Naruto. Curtis, how did you let this bitch do this to you? Naruto asked but didn't take his eyes off Asima who was getting back to her feet. It's her powers, she can control dark matter. The power she has is great. Curtis finished and then passed out from his wounds suffered in battle. Do you have the Stone of Night? The fierce woman questioned aiming her sword at him. Naruto's eyes shone brightly. Do you mean this? He pulled out a stone that was the size of his palm. It was a gem the color of the night that had dark energy MOV. The power it held was great and could boast anyone's power to match that of the demon lords. Asima widened her eyes before a greedy look plastered on her face. She then moved with great speed and tried to swipe the stone from Naruto's hands. The black stepped to the side and ducked a sword swing and struck out with his left hand that landed on Asima's cheek. After this stone are you? Well, too bad since this power will serve to aid me in my quest to conquer hell. Naruto placed the stone back in his coat and withdrew the from his waist. Why don't you aid me? Join me on my quest to conquer. Asima readied her shield and sword. No thanks, I am already on the path of vengeance. I don't need some petty dream of a childish man getting in my way to Rue. Insulted the dragon in front of her. This would be her downfall though. Why hadn't anyone told her never to poke a dragon in its exposed scale? Well, see. Naruto advanced with fire taking hold of his blade. He brought it down on Asima, who held up her shield and attacked with her blade, which Naruto grabbed. He started to spin like a twister and tossed Asima in the air at great speeds. Naruto quickly took after and sent many waves of magic slashes towards Asima. Sensing the approaching danger, the woman regained foot on the air and blocked off all the attacks. When she was done, Naruto was out of her sight. Radiant slash. The soft mutter of Naruto reached her eyes as Asima quickly turned to see an arc of purple coming towards her. Void cutter. Asima horizontally traced her blade across the air and her own black magic beam rushed from her sword. As the two attacks greeted each other in the air thundered with the sound of the explosion it made. Not bad, woman, keep it up. Naruto said and attacked W. An unblockable manner. Using her shield to summon a barrier around herself, Asima smirked as Naruto's sword bounced off it, leaving him open. Taking this chance, Asima performed a St. Impelled Naruto. Blood seeped from the corner of Naruto's lips as he looked surprised at the situation. Asima laughed as she drove them down to the ground, causing even more damage. Now die. Asima twisted the sword in Naruto's chest and watched as his body went limp. A hand rested on her shoulder. Why are you playing in the dirt? Are you choosing a place you wish to be buried? Asima didn't even bother to think and just turned around with a stab, releasing a black wave of magic, only to hit Naruto. Oh, land hits on him. Blood seeped from the corner of Naruto's lips as he looked surprised at the situation. Asima laughed as she drove them down to the ground, causing even more damage. Now die. Asima twisted the sword in Naruto's chest and watched as his body went limp. A hand rested on her shoulder. Why are you playing in the dirt? Are you choosing a place you wish to be buried? Asima didn't even bother to think and just turned around with a stab, releasing a black wave of magic, only to hit Naruto. Shadow clones, a jutsu the shinobi use, quite the move might I add. Petty tricks. Asima leaped forward, engaging in swordplay with Naruto, a dance of death that the two partners shared. She was finding Naruto was very talented. He landed small cuts on her body while she barely managed to land hits on him. Dark Vortex. A vortex of black wind spawned on top of Naruto and left cuts on his body that healed the next moment. Underneath his clothes and running up to red scales that served to protect his skin. Watch closely as the new Lord of Demons attacks. Summoning the Eyes of Destruction, Naruto held up his hand with a smirk on his face. Below his feet were an powerful magic formula formed by the Leviathans. He then injected Jurast into the spell, creating something new and more destructive. How, where did you learn such ancient runes? And are those the Eyes of Destruction? Asima began to take steps back as her fear rose and her heartbeat. Her confident and relaxed expression shifted into a primal fear. That could only mean one thing. Indeed, feel the spirit of the sleeping dragon you awoke. Naruto's voice boomed over the crackling electricity in his hand. Genovus. Black electricity rushed from. Raced towards its target. Asima, barely having any time to react, channeled her magic. At the tips of her fingers black magic formed and she used the shield on her forearm to transform into again Dark Twin Dragon. The two attacks met in the middle, but Asima's attack was just bulldozed as if it wasn't even there. The fangs of lighting tore into her skin and began to eat at her. Attack her source, which caused her to scream out in agonizing pain. Ah, oh how your torment excites me. Naruto walked closer and allowed his spell to fade. He placed his boot on Asima's chest. So, want to join me now? And she then joined up with me, and we've been together ever since. As Naruto finished, he took a sip of the juice next to him. Nothing really, compared to how love. I still laugh when I think about it. He finished with a joyful laugh. Not knowing how to feel, the mother and daughter looked at each other with odd expressions. But they would be happy for Naruto nonetheless since he found Pop genuinely cherish in his heart. Mabuki then remembered her kids had to go to school for team placements. Oh shoot, you guys have to get going or you're going to be late. This is a day you can. That's right. We have team placements, brother. Sakura got out of her seat too excited to even push it back in. We have to hurry. Sakura moved like lighting to pee. On. Naruto pushed the chair in for her and also moved to the front door. Snapping his fingers, his clothes glowed before he was wearing a different and more fitting outfit. Of his stature. His shirt was buttoned up, matching the color of his eyes. The top two buttons were undone, letting his lean and sculpted chest show. Hanging in the chest was a green necklace, a gift from Tsunade. His pants are a smooth and neat black made for dressing lavishly. His shoes were a fresh pair of black loafers. Now that I'm all dressed up, let's go. Mabuki pulled the two into a hug and gave both of them kisses on the cheek. Have a good day and stay out of trouble, especially you, Naruto. Hey, I am a well-mannered adult. Mumhu, ya tell that to your history? Naruto just laughed it off. Anyways, you to get going. Mabuki walked them outside and waved them off. As the siblings walked to the school, Naruto could feel he was being followed. It was a masked ninja on top of the rooftops. He was able to count 4 of them. You. Domino up, knock one down. And they all fall in line. He had to smirk as his plans were coming together nicely. So Hiruzen finally told the council about me. Now. Spooked, and Danzo will try and meet with me. He will help nicely in this game between heaven and earth. Why are you smiling like that? Sakura asked with a raised eyebrow, having noticed the smile tugging on Naruto's lips. Well, I'm just excited I get to embarrass you all day. Naruto put his arm around the smaller girl and pulled her close with a grin. Sakura removed herself and gave Naruto a pointed look. You better not. I only jest, Naruto said and started walking back to the academy to be placed on a team. This was kind of exciting, he had never done anything like this before. Walking through the school halls, Naruto received many looks. Mainly from the women due to his appearance and basically saying he was single and looking for AW. They would try to approach, they received a vicious glare from Sakura. The men, however, could sense the dangerous threat Naruto posed. Not just with him taking all the women, but him being able to seriously injure someone. The was not normal, his puffed-out chest and broad shoulders and that above all look he had on his face. A young man he was, but he gave off the aura of an experienced. Something far, far worse. Naruto was cocky, that was true, and it was clear as day for anyone to see it. But instead of looking like a chicken fried noble, he was the real thing. Say Sakura CH. You hoping to learn from our new sensei? Sakura slightly tilted her head upwards and gained a thinking expression while still moving. I'd like to hopefully learn a bit of medical ninjutsu. I'm actually a natural genius, dare I say. Maybe some more jutsu to expand my arsenal. I really just want to get stronger. I just want some power in my hands. The kind that anyone kneel before me. Sakura's answer served to shock Naruto. He was not expecting something like this. But if this was something she wanted, then this was could give her. Well, you're starting to think like a demon, my little sis. You haven't been hanging around any demons are here, have you? Naruto asked, running a hand through her. Sakura widened her eyes and began to panic inside as she wasn't sure how to feel. And did Naruto suggest that demons were walking around in the village? Calm down. I already know what you're thinking. Brother, I am sorry. Naruto waved it off and simply placed his arm around hers. No, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that, he said with a frown. But I promise you, being like me will things you want and more. I can make whatever you want happen. I will be here to support you in your journey. There is more to being a demon than just evil. Sakura held her head down at thinking poorly of Naruto for a second. He was her brother. He wouldn't do anything to lead her down a path he himself hadn't Aurea. And Naruto seemed okay, so maybe being a demon isn't so bad. Only time could tell though, maybe one day she would take Naruto up on his offer. But here is the class, let's get assigned to our teams. I am actually excited. Wait till I tell the girls about this, they're going to have a field day. Especially Albedo C. Opened the door and saw all the kids sitting down at their seats while Irika waited in his seat behind the desk. Upon seeing Naruto, the tan-skinned man quickly stood to his feet and fixed his clothing. And Naruto, right? The Hokage informed me you were coming. Irika was fairly average-looking. He had a horizontal scar on his nose which stood out. I'm glad you and your sister could make it. He held out his shaking hand for Naruto T. A smirking Naruto accepted. Why so nervous? You act as if you never met a demon before. Well, I haven't. Well, feel honored, your first meeting with a demon is the king himself. You can die a happy man now. Naruto released his grip and looked for Ino. He walked up T. Kids looked at him like he was a crazy person. Ino-chan, good to see you again, mind if I take a seat? What? You wanna sit by me? Ino asked, flushed and nervous. Of course, if that's okay with you? Yes. Naruto pulled the chair out on her left and took a seat with an eye smile. Are you as excited as I am? I wonder who my sensei will be. Yes, I am, but I already know who my team is going to be, and it sucks. Ino slumped over on the desk. I'm going to be teamed up with a lazy bum and his livin'. Troublesome girl, always running your mouth. The pineapple-haired boy from below said. You shut it. Ino yelled in anger. Do you always have to be so loud? Sakura calmly asked as she took a seat on the other side of Ino. I'll think about it. Sakura said. I just hope they don't place me on a team with Kiba. I'd hate to go rogue for killing him. The Inuzuka would normally respond with a comment but stay quiet for some reason. Perhaps it was because of the aura coming off Naruto that was daring him to. Now that everyone is here, let's get started. Irika called from the front of the class. First team will be. During the team assignments, Naruto's excitement didn't leave. He had very much learned to be patient over the years. Team 7, under Kakashi Hatake. Sakura Haruno. Kakashi, who was that again? I think he was the friend of that Obito fella. Well, we will see soon enough. Naruto thought with crossed arms in his seat. Sasuke Uchiha. Many girls deflated and moaned in protest at Irika's words. Now Sasuke, I know, this guy was supposed to be my brother of some sort. I look forward to pissing God off even further with this child. I can already sense a GRE. Hate and darkness in his heart should be easy enough. And Naruto Haruno. Many kids gave Naruto a questionable look. What a strange coincidence. How did this new kid who appeared out of nowhere be placed on such a team? Sakura looked towards Naruto with shock and disbelief, not able to fathom how something like this happened. Naruto just returned her stupor with a smirk. Where there's a will, there's a way. He finished with a wink. Sakura couldn't believe Naruto pulled something like this off. It must have been one of his spells from hell. But whatever it is, she was just happy they could be on. How did you get your hot brother on your team? Ino asked, gapping. Ino, don't talk about my brother like that. Sakura reprimanded her friend with red-patted cheeks. Don't worry, Sakura-chan, I won't steal your girlfriend. Naruto teased with a foxy grin. Brother, don't say such things. Sakura punched Naruto in the shoulder while her face heated up. Once she looked back to try and apologize to Ino, Sakura noticed was also slightly red and she quickly turned her head so Sakura couldn't see. Why is Ino blushing? Does she? Sakura let the thought fall off the cliff and ducked her head to hide the smile on her face. If Ino also felt similar to how she did Sasuke, then this meant she had a chance. Looking at the scene, Naruto held a reminiscent smile. Young love, did I also behave like this? Okay everyone, just wait for your sensei to come and pick you up. And once again, it was an honor teaching you all. Irika gave the kids a bow before leaving them, maybe never see the kids again. Tsunade and Shizune were flying in the sky, making their way out of Fire Country with the intention of locating 4 special gods. They were essential in finding and the plan going. That is when the sky flashed with bright light and the stars seemed to shine even brighter. The clouds began to clump together as a golden light began to emanate. Clouds. See, Lady Tsunade, I told you it wasn't a good idea to head to the Leaf Village. Now the angels found us. Shizune said to her master with clear annoyance in her too. Even know why I bother, you don't listen to me anyways. Shizune finished with a roll of her eyes and crossed arms. Quit your bitching, they were going to find us eventually. Tsunade said, rolling her eyes as well. But she looked up to the clouds to wonder who it was that would. A majestic lion's roar came from the clouds, and walking from the clouds on golden staircases was a tall and imposing individual. They wore a white one-piece outfit. Slivery gold armor plates on the shoulder, arms, and legs. He wore white greaves that clanked on the staircase. Walking next to him was a fully grown male lion made from golden light. His face was unblemished and his eyes a dazzling blue, while his short and slick back wit under the gaze of the sun. Oh, the king of the pussycats! Tsunade gave a mock taunting laugh. And a filthy lizard. Ariel spoke calmly and rather venomously. So, you've come to die. A little faster than we planned, but it will all work out. Tsunade rolled her neck and took off her green Haori. A world of chaos shall soon Tsunade then began to transform as dark brown scales began to form on her body before they grew to eclipse the surrounding mountains. Now flapping its wings in the sky was a humongous thick dragon. Its scales were very rough and its eyes a glowing yellow with black slits. This was Tsunade's Drago. Could undergo when needed. She was so big that it cast a shadow for more than 50 miles and more. Now, let's finish you. Tsunade spoke, hot vapor escaping her mouth. Dogda Asbadara. Tsunade shot out a blue fireball shaped like a star toward Ariel, who had fast as he could to avoid that attack. It was a good thing he did, because that attack destroyed a country on the border of the Land of Fire. This attack, Dogda Asbadara, was the highest form of fire attack Hell had to offer. It's so powerful, Naruto used it to destroy a different dimension while in Hell. Don't run now, Tsunade said, grinning in her giant form. She flapped her wings, which kicked up powerful winds, destroying the mountains under them and kicking. This isn't going to be easy, but God believed in me. I have to win. Ariel was then full of vigor. From particles of light in his right hand, he took hold of a golden lance. I banish you. He floated up and pointed his lance downward too. That's when the clouds parted and a rumble could be heard. A golden pillar of light struck Tsunade and sent her humongous body crashing to the ground, causing in pain and anger. Ariel took this as his chance to end it. He clapped his hands together and summoned over 1,000,000 other lances that then formed into one big lance that could be S. Watching from the sidelines, Shizen still sat on a tree, not bothered. She knew her master was just playing around and having a good time. But this attack would who? Got hit. The holy magic this thing was laced in could be felt from where she sat. Where she go? Ariel looked around and expanded his sense for Tsunade. But this was a chance to weaken her, so he'd take it. Holy barrier. A barrier trapping them inside spawned and enclosed the area they were fighting in. Now that you are weakened, you can't fight me at full power anymore. Which makes you 10 Tim. Me. By the grace of God, I've won. Twirling his lance in his hand, he chucked it towards Shizen, who caught it with her 2 fingers casually and sent it flying back towards him. Ariel with greater speed. Focus. Shizen said with a small deadly grin. As the sky became shadowed and magic blared to his senses, Ariel turned to look up to see a dozen balls of fire the size of meteors coming down on him. Zola Edypt. Red chains made from demon magic surrounded Ariel's body. He turned his head to see another copy of Tsunade grinning at him. Time to die. No. Release me. I will not die to a demon. Ariel shouted at the top of his lungs. He tried to release his magic and break the chains, but didn't know that it was the chains causing them to grow stronger as a result of that. Don't worry, we'll be sure to sing about you in the tales of Tsunade. As the attacks landed on top of Ariel, his screams were muffled by the giant balls of fire. Cover more time. Dogda Asbadara. To make sure the fool was dead, Tsunade fired off the giant blue star one more time. It was a good thing this place was covered by a barrier, or she might have planet with those attacks. Once the destruction calmed down, there wasn't anything left but a crater in the ground and traces of their magic. Now, I need a drink after that. Instead of turning back to her human form, Tsunade just shrunk and flew to Shizen's arms. Let's get wasted. Honestly, Lady Tsunade, I don't see why Naruto-sama gave such an important task to you. Asima is a much better pick. She is strong, responsible, courageous, and focused on the task at hand. Shizune said with stars in her eyes, thinking of one of her idols, next to Tsunade of course. That's when a tail smacked Shizune upside the head. Remember who you're the servant of. I am just as great and stronger. Tsunade yelled in anger. Shizune began walking as the barrier fell around them. Yeah right, Asima-sama is beyond you. Shizune thought. I heard you. As Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke waited for Kakashi, Naruto had Sakura doing some kind of training. Brother, are you sure this is working? It's not doing what you said it should. With the complaints of Sakura, it was clear things weren't going too well. Yes, you just have to apply enough force from your chakra to push out the spike. Naruto. Round black ball with a small hole in the center from Sakura. Like this. Naruto sent his chakra into the ball and voila. A spike ejected from it. If you can't control chakra sent into the ball, it won't work, but you also have to apply the right amount of pressure from your chakra to push up the spike. That's what I've been doing, but it won't work. Sakura's voice struggled on the line of being calm and collected. She had been at this for 2 hours. This is really child's play, even a newborn monkey can do this. Naruto said with mirth in his voice, merely to irk his sister. I don't know how I feel about being compared to a monkey. Sakura aimed a glare at Naruto, but it only served to make him chuckle. What about you, Uchiha? Wanna give it a try? Sasuke finally took his eyes off the window and looked back from the corner of his eye. Leave me out of your little games. Oh, too cool for training are we? Naruto laughed. Magically, the ball appeared on Sasuke's desk, making the boy look at Naruto. Just try. Humph. The boy reached his hand out and took hold of the warm item, due to Sakura's sweating palm. He sent his chakra into the ball and waited to hear the shin poking its head from the hole. What? There was nothing. Sasuke had achieved nothing. Not so good after all. Naruto said. You'll never manage to beat Itachi with such pathetic chakra. At hearing his words, Naruto felt a kunai whip past his face and... Temper. Sakura got up from her seat and drew a kunai. You want to do that again? Sakura threateningly held the sharp object as she glared at Sasuke's black orbs with green. Watch what you say, or it might be the last time you speak. Sasuke said, glaring at Naruto while holding another kunai in his hand, ready to defend off Sakura if n. Wait, he doesn't have his Sharingan? Or is he not choosing to activate it? Naruto thought in surprise. Well, here comes our sensei, tired of watching us I guess. The door opened and in came their sensei. Kakashi Hatake. All right, everyone calm down. Kakashi's lone black eye gazed over the room. He noticed two kids. Abu. A death battle? That's when he meets the eyes of the Demon King. Those red eyes that just notified all the cells in his body to run as far as he could, even his chakra trembled inside his body. It's just like Hokage-sama said, that's a grown man. Not a child. Kakashi fought the urge to turn and run. But he was given a mission by the Hokage, and he had an important mission. My first impression, you're all a bunch of misfits. Okay, let's start with some introductions, shall we? As the group was on top of the school building, Kakashi leaned up against the railing while the others rested on the right. Go first. Don't act like you don't know me. My name is Naruto Leviathan Haruno. I like hell and the great weather it provides. I like my family, lovers, and friends. Things I and single-minded fools. Naruto said, leaning on his elbows. He could have revealed more since there was nothing Kakashi or the village could do to him. But when knew less about you, they were more jumpy and easy to control. A little strange, but I don't judge. Kakashi shrugged his shoulders and acted like he didn't care. Next W dash. Why don't we save this for later? Come and test us already.